with weather being the way that it is, it's starting to feel like the end days. So I was wanting to figure out the seven seals to the, to the Revelation, the book of Revelation, not Revelations. Okay, the book of Revelations. You don't know what you're talking about, just the book of Revelation. Now, do we need to know who wrote it? The guy calls himself John. We're going to call him John Patmos. He is pretending to be the Apostle John, the one who is hanging out with Jesus, even though this is written in like 90 years later or 60 years later. Apparently under the Domitian, the Roman Emperor, Domitian Empire. So he banishes this John of Patmos to the island of Patmos. So John of Patmos is banished. He's sitting on this island, and he's like, ooh, guys, I'm going to really get you guys. I'm going to get all of you sons of bitches. And he starts writing his revelation of Jesus Christ. He says while he's sitting on this island of Patmos, he writes this letter to the 7 churches of Asia. And he specifically mentions them by name. The Pergamum, the Smyrna, Ephesus, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them there. So there's 7 churches. He's on this island of Patmos, and then he writes this revelation. And there's a couple other things. We also get the beast, the mark of the beast, the whore of Babylon, mark of the beast, the whore of Babylon, the lion of Judah, and the 7 seals. This is what David Koresh was talking about at the Waco siege. He's like, this is the 5th seal. This is just like Revelations. Is it? And then what was the point? What was the intention? So this is just the 7 seals part. I'm only reading Revelations 6 through 8. Just 3 pages, so bear with me. It's not that bad. All right. Chapter 6. This is the 7 seals, trumpets, and plagues with interludes. The first 6 seals. Then I watched while the Lamb broke open the first of the 7 seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures cry out in a voice like thunder, come forward. I looked, and there was a white horse, and its rider had a bow. He was given a crown, and he rode forth victorious to further his victories. So the first seal is broken, and what do we reveal? So white horse. There's a guy on a white horse, and its rider had a bow. So there's a white horse, and the rider have a bow. There's one thing I want to mention is that David felt he was the lamb. So the 5th seal, or not the 5th seal, apparently there's only a lamb, or a lion of Judah, a lamb with 7 horns and 7 eyes, which could undo these seals. So there's a special prophet, a special messenger that can interpret the seals or undo the seals. And a seal is just whenever you have a piece of letter and then you have a stamp and it's rubber, and so it seals the letter, and that way it has the name of the person, or only the person with that seal can open it. So when you deliver it, the contents is stayed secret until it's delivered to its rightful person. So it's just some old shit that they did back in the Bronze Age. So back in the Bronze Age, they're all, just the wealthy people had seals because only certain people could write. And that's all that there was. Okay, so carrying on. So the first seal is a white horse. When he broke open the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living creature cry out, come forward. Another horse came out, a red one. Its rider was given power to take peace away from the earth so that the people would slaughter one another, and he was given a huge sword. So the 2nd seal releases a red horse. First a white horse who's got a rider with a bow. Now we have a red horse who took peace away from the earth, and now the people are killing each other. And he's also got a big sword. When he broke the 3rd seal, so he was given, is this the lamb? I guess the lamb was given a huge sword. All right. Maybe that's what it was. He was given a huge crown. Okay. He breaks open the 3rd seal. I heard the 3rd living creature cry out, come forward. I looked, and there was a black horse, and its rider held a scale in his hands. A scale? I mean, it seems like they're getting less menacing, like scales of justice. I heard what seemed to be a voice in the midst of the 4 living creatures. It said, a ration of wheat cost a day's pay, and 3 rations of barley cost a day's pay, but do not damage the olive oil or the wine. Okay, I feel like that might be the exact reason why this whole thing was written. St. John of Patmos wrote this because they kept getting into his olive oil and wine, and nobody could agree on how much he's allowed to pay him. He's like, look, I'll give you a ration of wheat for a day's pay, or 3 rations of barley for a day's pay, and that's it. But don't you dare touch my wine or my olive oil. I'll pay you what you're worth. So he just wrote this scary ass story. He's just imagining all this. He's gonna get you all. He's gonna get you all. He's gonna send a white horse, and then he's gonna send a red horse, and then he's gonna send a black horse, and then he's just, I mean, it's pretty descriptive stuff. And there's some imagery, the whore of Babylon. The whore of Babylon is the Tower of Babel, and Babylon would be not Jerusalem, but your the holy city versus the man-made city. So which one are you going to choose, huh? Are you going to be one with Jerusalem or one with Babylon? And then a whore of Babylon is usually the false church or the false prophet of the secularists. So the secularists choose something else to worship in, but not the ever-eternal, everlasting, loving Allah, God, the Omega, the Greeks, Alpha, the Zeus, and the Alpha and the Omega, Sun, the Sunday, Saturnalia, the worship of Saturn on Saturday, the Sabbath. On the Sunday, worship the sun. Thor day. Okay, so when he broke open the 4th seal, right? Don't you touch my olive oil. Hey, don't you touch my wine. Don't you touch my olive oil. I'm going to send the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse after you. So then the Lamb breaks open the 4th seal. I heard the voice of the 4th living creature cry, I come forward. I looked. There was a pale green horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades accompanied him. They were given authority over a quarter of the earth to kill with sword, famine, and plague, and by means of the beast of the earth. So, you know, the first guy just had a bow, a rider with a bow. Ooh, I'm real scared. So just somebody with a bow, a red horse. He took peace away, but that's essentially just, you know, the people are killing each other, so they didn't really start doing much. The black horse had a scale, you know, okay, so what's that about? The 4th seal, okay, now people are actually dying. And I heard Johnny Cash say that it's a pale horse, and its name was Death, and hell followed with him. So Hades accompanied him. It didn't follow him, it accompanied him. They were just, you know, hand in hand. Death and Hades were hand in hand. And they were given authority over a quarter of the earth to kill sword, famine, and plague by means of the beast of the earth. So Hades, they're using the Roman hell there, I think, right? 8. Didn't really say what's going on with that. Hades? Hades? You mean hell? And how does, you know, if Hades a man, yeah, you could accompany him, but how does hell, oh, see, you brought a friend there. Who'd you bring? Hell. The hell, you say? The hell I did say. I brought hell over as a friend, as a guest. You said I could bring any guest I wanted to, but you bring an entire lake of fire? The lake of fire is also in here, but they don't say lake of fire. I don't know, this version, the New American Bible is just not, this is a Catholic Reader's Edition. So, you know, that should tell you something. I don't know what, but it should tell you something. Okay. So death and hell comes with him. That's the 4th horseman. They're given authority over a quarter of the earth to kill with sword, famine, and plague, and by means of the beast of the earth. So the death comes over, and then he's like, you know, just killing people with swords and famine and plagues and sending lions to eat the people. So the Lamb, you know, finally, the 4th horseman, okay, the 4th horseman did something. The first 3 horsemen really didn't do much at all, did they? It's like, okay, you got a bow, big fucking deal. The 3rd one's got a scale. Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots over here. You got a bow, you got a scale. And then the one has a sword. Ooh, I got a big sword. He did take peace away. I mean, that's remarkable. You all had peace? Okay, now I got peace. Now you don't have peace. It's in my hand. See, got your peace. Got your peace right there. When he broke open the 5th seal, I saw underneath the altar the souls of those who had been slaughtered because of the witness they bore to the word of God. So we're at the 5th seal now. This is what David Koresh kept talking about. We're at the 5th seal. This is the 5th seal, just like they said in Revelation. The 5th seal. And so what is God doing? So, you know, he's going around basically just kind of sending these horses. The 4th horse And this is the coming of Christ. I guess Jesus is going to save us all, but first he's got to, rape the shit out of the world. He's got to kill everybody first. So first he's just kind of killing anybody and everybody. He kills a quarter, 1/4 of all the earth is killed by famine, plague, swords, and beasts of the earth. And then when he breaks open the 5th seal, now God is killing the people who actually witnessed Jesus and stood up for Jesus and said they loved Jesus. So once the lamb with 7 eyes and 7 horns, or the Lion of Judah, the secret, whoever who's got the key to the seals. So whoever's got the key to the 5th seal, as soon as the 5th seal's undone, then the armies of Babylon have to kill all those righteous and worthy Christians. Now, I don't know when the rapture comes. That's not the rapture. They just get killed. It doesn't say they go to heaven. It just says they all get murdered. And then later on it says they cried out, God, we believed in you, God. We believed in you. We worshiped in Jesus. We believed in you. What the fuck are you doing? And they said, how long will it be, holy and true master, before you sit in judgment and avenge our blood on the inhabitants of the earth? Right? Dear Lord, we prayed, we worshiped, we are believers. How come you're doing this? How come you're forsaking us? And God was like, hey, everybody calm down. He says each of them was given a white robe, so he gives everybody a bunch of white robes, and they were told to be patient a little while longer until the number was filled of their fellow servants and brothers who were going to be killed as they had been. So basically, when are you going to show us some mercy? Never. They're going to kill more righteous Christians. More righteous Christians are going to die. So in the Waco and the Koresh thing, this is the part where they are at. First, the 5th seal opens. He's the lamb, to where they see and understand what the 5th seal is about. The armies of Babylon is killing a whole bunch of branch Davidian Christians. And now what? Now you wait. Now you wait. And now it depends on interpretation. But according to this interpretation right here, by just, essentially the words on the page, it says, wait a little while longer, and God's going to come back and kill more good Christians. And it didn't say why or where the hell this is going to go. So just be patient, be more patient. And then he gives them all white robes. So while you guys are about to die, I'm not going to stop the murder, but I will give you a fancy white robe to die in. So at least you'll die in a fancy, clean white robe. So Revelation 7:12. Then I watched while he broke open the 6th seal. Oh my God, the Lamb! You need to stop breaking these seals. This is just, all these Christians are dying. The 5th seal is when a bunch of Christians die. Then I watched while the Lamb broke open the 6th seal, and there was a great earthquake. So now you're just going to get all these natural disasters. The sun turns as black as a dark sackcloth. So I guess sackcloths are really dark. And then the whole moon became like blood. So blood moon, just like we saw, just a month ago, right? We saw a blood moon. It was blue, but we called it a blood moon for some reason. The stars in the sky fell to the earth like unripe figs shaken loose from the tree in a strong wind. So stars, they're just like figs in a tree, and if you just shake them, the stars just kind of fall out of the sky like, like sprinkling pepper. Because clearly they're not, balls of gas burning millions of miles away. Clearly they're just right there. Oh my God, what's happening? The stars are falling. Oh, I just got hit by a star. Oh, so that's really bad science. And then the sky was divided like a torn scroll curling up, and every mountain and island was moved from its place. The kings of the earth, the nobles, the military officers, the rich, the powerful, and every slave and free person hid themselves in caves and among the mountain crags. So the sky was divided like a torn scroll curling up, and then every mountain and island was moved from its place. So they're just picking up islands and mountains, and then all the kings and everybody's hiding in the caves. They cried out to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of the one who sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, because the great day of their wrath has come, and who can withstand it? So, fuck, the Lamb seems like a real big asshole. The Lamb is unlocking all these seals and bringing death and destruction to the entire world, including the 5th seal where he kills a whole bunch of Christians. For how much longer? A little while longer. We're going to keep on killing all these Christians. And then the 6th seal comes in, and it doesn't help. It just, the Lamb continues to bring death and destruction. An earthquake happens. The sun turns as black as a dark sackcloth. The whole moon turns to blood. The stars in the sky fell to the earth. Then the mountains and the islands are just, being juggled about here and there. And then they're praying for rocks to fall so they can hide underneath the rocks. So chapter 7. I'm just going to do chapter 7 and chapter 8. Okay, so are you with me so far? Are you there? So this is John of Patmos, not John of Apostle. Some people assume that John of Patmos pretends to be the Saint John of the Bible. And actually, the John of the Bible, I think they're just assuming you're stupid, right? So they have the book of John. So you're just supposed to assume the book of John is Apostle John. But really, it's just some asshole that wrote under the name of John. And then meanwhile, all the stories about Jesus and John, like they talk about John the Apostle. Then there's John the Baptist. And then there's John the Evangelist. And then there's John of Patmos. So John seems to be a pretty popular name. If I found a letter and someone said that, all this fire and brimstone and everything's going to, come down, and the guy just signed his name John, I wouldn't just assume that that was, the John of the Bible. It seemed like that'd be very presumptuous. Be like, who the hell's John? John says that all the stars are going to just fall out of the sky because I wronged him. Well, sorry, John. I don't know who the hell you are, John. Just sign your name, John. Oh my God. Is it John of the Bible? Maybe it's John of the Bible. Or maybe it's some asshole pretending to be John of the Bible to make it more scarier. This last book was almost not included in the canon of the Bible because they thought that it was written from a different John, so therefore it didn't belong a part of all these books. Who collected all these books? I mean, who said these are the books that's the Bible? Why are these books, and there's some books that were excluded. So Revelations barely got into the canon, but it's there. So, John of Patmos, chapter 7. The 144,000 sealed. After this, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, since, the world is clearly flat and it's a rectangle. So there's 4 corners holding back the 4 winds of the earth, so that no wind could blow on land or sea or against any tree. Then I saw another angel come up from the east holding the seal of the living God. So an angel has the seal of the living God, but I wonder what that looks like. He cried out in a loud voice to the 4 angels who were given power to damage the land and the sea. Do not damage the land or the sea or the trees until we put the seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God. I heard the number of those who had been marked with the seal, 144,000 marked from every tribe of the Israelites. So apparently there's only 144,000 that are saved. We got, 7 billion on our planet? Only 144,000 are saved. Pueblo's got about that many, so maybe it's a whole city. Only Pueblo is going to be saved. All the rest of you guys you all got the mark of the beast. You're not going to make it past the rapture. You're not going to make it. Only people in Pueblo is going to make it. So, it says that's the number who've been marked with the seal. And there's just 144,000 from every tribe from the Israelites. So there was 12,000 who were marked from the tribe of Judah. So all those people from Judah, you're good. Or at least 12,000, you guys are good. Then there's 12,000 from the tribe of Reuben. So those from Reuben, 12,000 from the tribe of Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, Simeon, Levi, and then Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. So if you're from the tribe of Benjamin, the tribe of Joseph, the tribe of Zebulun, tribe of Levi, the tribe of Simeon, Manasseh, Naphtali, Asher, Gad, Reuben, Judah, 12, just get yourselves in a circle, pick 12,000. That's the only people that's allowed on this great Titanic into heaven. So there's only Jews. Only Jews are going to make it to heaven. It turns out no Christians. None of the Christians are making it. They're only coming from the Israelites. So just from the Jewish people, no Christians. So that's quite unfortunate. Damn, that's quite a revelation there. Now, the triumph of the elect. After this, I had a vision of a great multitude which no one could count, from every nation, race, people, and tongue. They stood before the throne and before the Lamb wearing white robes and holding palm branches in their hands. They cried out in a loud voice, "Salvation comes from our God who is seated on the throne and from the Lamb." All the angels stood around the throne and around the elders and the four living creatures. They prostrated themselves before the throne, worshipped God, and exclaimed, "Amen. Blessing and glory, wisdom and thanksgiving, honor, power, and might be to our God forever and ever. Amen." Then one of the elders spoke up and said to me, "Who are these wearing white robes, and where did they come from?" So the elders, I said to him, "My Lord, you are the one who knows." He says, "These are the ones who have survived the time of great distress. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb." I don't know how you make anything white from the blood of anything. You made them white from the blood of the Lamb? What the fuck? It's like they don't even understand basic science. For this reason, they stand before God's throne and worship Him day and night in His temple. The one who sits on the throne will shout to him. They will not hunger or thirst anymore, nor will the sun or any heat strike them, for the Lamb who is in the center of the throne will shepherd them and will lead them to springs of life-giving water, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Aww. Oh, okay, that's sweet. So after he murders a whole shit ton of Christians, and just wait for a little while, and we're going to kill some more Christians after the fifth seal. Then afterwards, the ones who survived, the ones who were not killed, I guess now you get to live a decent life. I hope. Chapter 8. The seven trumpets. When he broke open the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. And then I saw that the seven angels who stood before God were given the seven trumpets. Okay, so there was silence. The seventh seal, that's the last seal. Then there's silence for half an hour. Seems pretty precise, you know, for this made-up, fictitious thing. Oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to send you 4 horsemen, and there's going to be seals, and there's going to be angels, and there's going to be trumpets, and the sky's going to go black, and it's like a little kid. It's like a little kid saying, "Ooh, man, I'm going to really imagine this story is going to be about you." The stars are going to fall out of the sky, then the sun is going to turn black, and then the moon's going to turn red. And then they're going to be a bunch of beasts with a bunch of horns, a bunch of eyes, and they're going to have like a tail, but a snake instead of a tail. And it's going to be, ooh boy, you really fucked with me. Ooh, my imagination, my poetry will go down and stand the test of time. I'm going to show you all. So the seventh seal is broken. Then 7 angels who stood before God were given 7 trumpets. Okay, so that's after the silence. The gold censer. Another angel came and stood at the altar holding the gold censer. He was given a great quantity of incense to offer, along with the prayers of all the holy ones on the gold altar that was before the throne. The smoke of the incense, along with the prayers of the holy ones, went up before God from the hand of the angel. Then the angel took the censer, filled it with burning coals from the altar, and hurled it down to the earth. There were peals of thunder, rumblings, flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. So, I don't know, there's what? Incense. Then the smoke of the incense, along with the prayers of the holy ones. Is that the elders? The prayers of the holy ones. So they're off to the side while all this shit's happening. Then the angel, they fill with burning coal. They hurl it down to the earth. Is this up in the sky or something? And then there's peals of thunder, rumblings, lightning, earthquake. The first 4 trumpets, the 7 angels who were holding the 7 trumpets prepared to blow them. When the first one blew his trumpet, there came hail and fire mixed with blood, which was hurled down to the earth. 1/3 of the land was burned up, along with 1/3 of the trees and all green grass. When the second angel blew his trumpet, something like a large burning mountain was hurled into the sea. 1/3 of the sea turned to blood, 1/3 of the creatures living in the sea died, and 1/3 of the ships were wrecked. When the 3rd angel blew his trumpet, a large star burning like a torch fell from the sky. It fell on 1/3 of the rivers and on the springs of water. The star was called wormwood, and 1/3 of all the water turned to wormwood. Many people died from this water because it was made bitter. So yeah, then the 4th angel blew his trumpet. 1/3 of the sun, 1/3 of the moon, and 1/3 of the stars were struck, so that 1/3 of them became dark. The day lost its light for 1/3 of the time, as did the night. Then I looked again, heard an eagle flying overhead cry out in a loud voice, "Woe! Woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth from the rest of the trumpet blast that the three angels are about to blow. Okay, so now just angels are blowing 7 trumpets, so it's more of a literary device, right? 7 seals, I open the one seal, and then I open another seal, and then this thing happened, and then the angels blew the trumpet, and then this thing happened. The second one blew their trumpet, then this thing happened. And it seems to be in thirds, so it just everybody's dying, right? The first one blew the trumpet. There's hail and fire mixed with blood, right? And then a third of the land was burned up, and then a third of the trees and all the grass, so they're killing all the plants. The second one, a third of the sea turns to blood. Then a third of the sea creatures died, and a third of the ships are wrecked. And then the third, I mean, why are they doing third? Just wipe them all out. But apparently, I guess he's saving the rest of them for later. Maybe it's just a literary device. It just makes it more scary. Oh my God, a third? Well, that means 2/3 still around. Oh, then that's okay. We could survive that. The star, wormwood, let's see. Something about a bitter plant. A third of the sun, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars were struck. I thought all the stars fell out of the sky. So I don't see how we could lose a third of the stars when all of them already fell out of the sky. The sun turned black. So I would think it, disappeared. Or if it's a black hole, we would have been sucked into the sun. So for it to go black and now there's a third of it missing and a third of the moon is missing after it turned into a blood moon. This guy he is just some asshole. He's just some weird fucking asshole sitting in a cave like. And then there's this trumpet, and then there's this beast, and then the lamb with the horns saves everybody, and Babylon. The Babylon is really bad. There's the horror of Babylon, and I'm not a believer, so I don't believe in any of that shit. The horror of Babylon. There's an interesting story about that. So essentially, the love of God makes Jerusalem, and then the love of the world makes Babylon. Now, the Reformation view is that the Catholic Church is the whore of Babylon. So the Catholic Church is the beast. Babylon is the Roman Empire, and they adopted Catholicism, and so that's not the true religion. And so actually there's a Seventh-day Adventists, the Latter-day Saints, Jehovah's Witnesses. So actually I think any Christians can take Revelations and say that you're the false prophet. You're the false prophet. We're the correct prophet. So you're the whore of Babylon. Babylon would be your world's forces. We're your world's power centers. So there's, the Rothschild, the banking centers. So that's what, in Austria and Vienna. And then there's also, the U.S. government. And then the firepower. And then all the nuclear bombs. There's 8 nuclear countries. So that's who Babylon is, the Tower of Babel. So you got Jerusalem is your God city, and then Rome is your man-made city. The whore of Babylon, or Babylon the Great, however you want to mention it, it takes the place of evil in the book of Revelation. The full title of the whore of Babylon is Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and abominations of the earth. So that's a hell of an introduction. Oh my God, who is it? Well, it's the whore of Babylon. What's your full title? The whore of Babylon, Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and abominations of the earth. Well, maybe that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe if you just didn't go around telling everybody that, maybe just name yourself Babylon. I'm the queen of Babylon. Why you got to call yourself a whore and a prostitute? It's a pejorative. Why would you do that? So, Revelation, the beast. The beast comes out of the sea. There's 2 beasts. So the first beast is given authority and power by a dragon. The first beast is initially mentioned. It comes out of abyss, and there's some mystery behind it. But then another beast comes out of the earth. So one comes out of the abyss, and then one comes out of the earth, and the second one who comes out of the earth tells everybody to worship the first beast that came out of the abyss. And the second beast is also referred to as a false prophet. So don't listen to the second beast that comes out of the earth to tell you that the first beast who was given authority and power by the dragon is the false prophet. Just don't believe it, okay? If you can fight it. And then the 2 beasts are defeated by Jesus Christ when he kicks their ass and he throws them into the lake of fire in Revelation 19:18-20. And they don't say lake of fire in here. So I guess I'll just end it off with that. The Revelation 19 to 18 to 20. Okay. So the beast was caught, and with it the false prophet who had performed in its sight the signs by which he led astray those who had accepted the mark of the beast, and those who had worshipped its image. The two were thrown alive into the fiery pool burning with sulfur. Not even a lake of fire, just a fiery pool burning with sulfur. The rest were killed by the sword that came out of the mouth of the one riding the horse, and all the birds gorged themselves on their flesh. Then the birds ate everybody. The birds ate everybody.